Albert Einstein said, "If you want to know the future, look at the past." Well, if you're like me, working on something new and you hope innovative, you'll take anything to offer assurance that you're on the right path. So I'm looking back to the birth of the World Wide Web. In those early days, the radical news service was free, open and accessible to everybody. The core philosophy was to share knowledge, with all the information at your fingertips. June 2007 brought a milestone event. Apple launched their smartphone, the perfect complement to the new and lasting craze for social media. Then, just a few years later, deep learning becomes feasible, powered by the massive platform services of cloud, which leads to machine learning becoming integral to many widely used software services and applications. We can now start to theorize, what will the next generation internet be like from a user perspective? New technologies will enable much more localization of services, information and applications. Information in context can be delivered to you in your near proximity. Local communications to see what's going on. Communication almost exclusively with smartphones, within smart cities. New innovations to enable us to return to those original core values of the web, of knowledge sharing between people networks, a human-centric internet. Okay, so I'm feeling assured following that look at the past and the potential for the future. I'm working on a smartphone application which is deeply integrated with cloud and machine learning. Its purpose is to provide us with tools for knowledge sharing and to help us pull down localized information on our own terms, a personalized contextual assistant. The app's name is Dolo, and here is an early demo I created whilst we were in lockdown. Dolo collates information from content providers into lists, as shown here. Lists of multimedia documents, which include text, image galleries, zoomable images.
For London, TfL, the largest public transportation system in the United Kingdom.
Audio, such as music or podcasts, and associated videos.
London, the city that never stops. So we're doing whatever it takes to get it moving again, safely. Here's what you can expect to see when you walk through our doors. Whether it's the Underground, trams, TfL Rail, London Overground
Also,
or DLR.
existing online assets are directly accessible. The lists are created by Dolo subscribed content providers. Since then, I've been developing in-app features to enable us to retrieve those multimedia documents easily, as frictionless as possible. Those new tools are built using on-device machine learning for text and code scanning, and search indexing for handling predictive text input, and also by using voice. Today is different. I'm going outside into the real world. I want to find scenarios in the physical world that I can use to simulate using the app. Digital touches our lives in so many places, but I'm really interested in those circumstances which are not yet aided by digitisation. I'm always looking at the world and thinking how we've barely scratched the surface of capability available to us. There is such potential with cloud integrated mobile applications, and sometimes the opportunities are right in front of us. My purpose for today is to find examples where digitally connected services could be made available in this city. In the later video edit, I'll layer over the Dolo application so that you can see how things would actually play out. Here's our first potential content provider, the Nottingham Contemporary Art Gallery. I'm quickly searching within Dolo using predictive text search, and here is the appropriate section. Now that I have my context set, I can go on to use voice-based search, so I'll read out this event billboard on the caps. And here is the associated multimedia document for the event.
My name is Miriam Benani. and I'm a Moroccan artist based in New York, and I do video installations. So this exhibition is called...
Okay, so this is the first document I've discovered around the city, so I'm going to create a new list called Discoveries for my Dolo testing, and I'm going to add this document to it. Further up the road, I come across the National Justice Museum, which I can connect to within Dolo using the text scanning feature. I can find objects of interest even from the building's exterior, again using a text scan. This is a really interesting piece of history which I would not have discovered if it hadn't been for using the app. And it just goes to show, with something like a museum, how much more interactive it can be, with people having the freedom just to reach out and pull down information from existing legacy things like static signs. As I walk around this part of the city, I'm struck by how many business pavement signs there are, packed with text, usually with a reference to a social media page or website URL. Using Dolo, we could just connect instantly using those same signs. Here's one I'm definitely drawn to. This looks like a great pizza restaurant. That's making me feel hungry. And the embedded link I can use is the restaurant's existing digital assets to make a table reservation. The text scanning feature is really fast, even with a dynamic digital display like with this shop window. With just a glance from Dolo, I've made a connection to this notice. It's about a music artist, and if I wish, I can follow the link to the retailer's e-commerce site. I just have to make a detour into this music store. I love it here. Just look at all of those warm vinyl records with their full-sized album artwork. There's no obvious signs of digital in here. It's like a temple of analog. Technically, there's no reason why I couldn't not use Dolo to make connections. The app's text processor is making a good job of recognising this handwritten signage, which could trigger a query, say, to staff pics. Everything is also uniquely identified through barcodes, so I could use the app's barcode reader to retrieve documents about an album, learn about the band, hear preview tracks, and watch performance videos. So much for the digital divide between physical stores and online e-commerce. So that was audio. Now time for visual. Broadway. I've made a connection to this cinema content provider, and now I've selected a What's On list they curate dynamically. I'll follow that list so I can be notified within Dolo of new movie listings. Okay, I'll now grab a coffee and think about the big picture. Let's look at how the whole platform holds together. First off is the process for gathering that source content. It's really important that content providers have quick and easy mechanisms to insert and manage their content. Once subscribed, they can use the app's inbuilt features for capturing multimedia elements and easily assemble them within collections of documents. Interaction points are awaiting consumers, like one of us, to use those augmented search tools to make a connection and pull down the information the content provider has prepared. Whilst we use the app to inquire about the world, the app itself is functioning as a receptor. It listens for our interactions and passes those events to cloud to form a temporal graph of our actions within time and proximity. Machine learning is then engaged to make personalised recommendations within our context. If we just think about content providers again, from a commercial marketing perspective, it will be so much more beneficial to have consumers willingly reaching out and requesting information on their own terms. So much better than pestering us out of context with ad tech. On to the final function. Using the app, we captured our interests, and we can share that knowledge. Here is the discoveries list I made for myself, and now I can use messaging and social media to share individual documents or the whole list. If I make a social media posting, the Dolo app embeds a dynamic link, which will open the app at that point for the receiver. So, a personal connection out here in the physical world can lead to another person making a virtual follow-on inquiry with the content provider, and they can then build up their own Dolo lists and bookmarks. Well, it's been a great day mooching around Nottingham and finding potential uses for Dolo. This new breed of cloud-integrated apps opens up opportunities to further inform and enrich our lives through digital. The journey has just begun.